Hello YouTubers, welcome to TakaraTomy Studio. Today I bring you Masterpiece 25 tracks from TakaraTomy. Thanks to a good friend, I can get my hands on this figure on such an early date. Actually, I've been making video reviews on action figures, mainly Transformers, for more than 5 years. And this time, I say, why don't I make it a little bit special? How about in a bilingual format? So here you go. The box has the same size and similar style compared to previous Masterpiece Autobot cars. And of course, it is another licensed product under Big Car brand. The battle card was nicely printed both front and back, but not sure about the right angle corner arrangement, which seems a little bit odd and different from the previous designs. The instruction booklet on one side is very colorful. It shows not only the real product, but also how to arrange the accessories, the pistol, the blaster, and a few captured images from G1 cartoons to emphasize the homage to its ancestors. On the other side is all black and white, but I think it's informative enough in explaining the transformation process. So for the little human body Raul, I think it's a name from Spain or Latin America. I have vague memory about this character in G1 cartoon. I think he may appear only in 1 or 2 episodes. I'm not so sure about that. The colors on him are well implemented, but no articulation at all. As to the blaster, it's even smaller. It's teeny tiny actually compared to my thumbnail. You can tell the size. The painting on the front side is very nice, while on the other side is nothing. Well, there is a screw, but considering its size, I think the details in the painting jobs are acceptable. The car mode tracks is just fantastic. Actually, I think it's one of my favorite Autobot cars in the Masterpiece toy line so far. The blaster inside, rear mirrors attached, is still pretty solid. Size-wise, it's bigger than Bumblebee, of course. It's a G2 version Bumblebee, so you can tell they're both very shiny due to the metallic paintings. When compared to Wheeljack, I see they're both top-notch fancy cars, which I rarely see on the street. And Wheeljack is always my personal favorite ever since the 1980s, so even with such fancy metallic paintings on tracks, I still prefer the car mode of Wheeljack. The car is very slim, very nice looking. It's actually based on a real model of Chevrolet Corvette Stingray C3, a fancy car produced in 1970s, and I think it's a well mixture of the classic muscle cars and jet flight. Yes, jet flight, it just looks that powerful, it just looks that speedy. The flame pattern and giant Autobot logo on the hood looks superb, but the paints on the windows are horrible. Which makes it even worse are the transparent windows. You can just look through them and see the inner structure of the robot, which makes such a wonderful car less realistic. It rolls pretty well, but just hard plastic instead of rubber tires. On the trunk of the car there's another logo telling everybody that they got a license. On the bottom you can see the robot feet, you can see the giant wings, but they are nice packed. I think that's not a problem. Oh, one more thing, the hood can be open, so you can see the silvery engines inside with nice panel line details, which I think is pretty sweet arrangement. Transformation Session 1, from car to wing car. Actually, there are 3 modes, believe it or not, as advertised, and the flying car mode I think appears 1 or 2 episodes, but really impressed me a lot. When I was a little child, I always imagined owning such a car, so anytime when we were in a traffic jam, I could fly, just skip all the trouble. And talking back to the transformation, as you can see, after lifting the trunk, you can free both arms, flip them out, and make them straight. And then you're gonna see a very interesting little structure here. There are 2 pins in 2 slots. You're gonna put them to the opposite side and lock in position. After that, you're gonna position the blue panels in such a S or Z shape. Before locking the arms, let's see what we have in the trunk. Missiles. 2 missiles in the trunk. What a car it is. Flip out the missiles, white missiles, and there are 2 rear wings you're gonna have to flip them out. A little bit hard at the first time because they're really teeny tiny parts. After successfully flipping them out, you can then put the trunk back into position to lock with the main body of the car. And then it's time to rotate the forearms and lock them in position. And you can of course adjust the wings in whichever directions you like to make it more realistic for a flying car. Plugging in a stand makes tracks fly, or at least makes tracks stand out there. There are 3 joints on the stand, and the bottom one is quite stiff. You can also rotate that joints to position tracks in whichever directions you like. And of course you have another teeny tiny accessories, which I think represent a kind of firing mechanism or something like that. You can plug it in, and I believe it's another homage to the G1 cartoon. Transformation session 2. Yeah, actually session 1, when we turn the car into a wing or a fly car mode, we are halfway, or at least 1/3 way there to the robot mode. First we turn the blue panels on the rear section so that we can see the rear lights, and adjust the missiles in such a position that they face forward. Flatten the blue panels on the shoulders so they're on the same axis. Then here in the neck piece, flip out the head. This is quite scary. Although there's nothing broken, no stress mark or whatsoever so far, I absolutely hate this locking mechanism. It's really terrifying, especially for the first time, and it also seems to me quite lazy design-wise. The connections between the chest and the shoulders are pretty standard, which remind me a lot of toys in a classic or Generations toy line. When you align them and put them in position, they lock pretty well. Then flip the central piece in the chest to reveal the Autobot logo. Turn it around to focus on the waist piece. Loosen the door. It's actually made of 2 panels. Adjust them in a proper angle, actually not in a 90-degree angle, proper angle so that it can be plugged into the slot on the back. One side done, the other side, flip over, turn and adjust into the proper angle, and lock into position as well. When I saw the prototype picture, the backpack worried me, and when I get my hands on the final and real product, it's still of a big concern. It just hooks on both sides of the rib section, and that's it. No further attempt to make it more compact. So whatever. Turn around the panel and flipping out the fist. Take the blaster out from the croucher piece, separate the legs, and extend the hood panels on a double hinge. Then turn the waist 180, and then there will be some very interesting and compact arrangement here. First pull out the side panels with wheels on it, and then you can see there are 1 and 2 panels. Turn the blue ones 90 degrees and the gray ones 180, overlap them, and then push back the side panels. And there's one additional locking mechanism just for the foot, which is super sweet. Alright, here we have Trax in its robot mode. Trax robot mode looks very tall and very slim. It's a pretty solid figure. There is no floppy part whatsoever. And the head sculpt, I would say, is quite Traxy. Bone white helmet, super red face, blue eyes, definitely Trax. I love the 2 rolling wheels on the shoulders and the giant Autobot logo on the chest. The painting jobs on the arms are nice, but the forearms seem a little bit longer than I expected. The crotch piece, the leg, the feet are highlighted with red, and they're of nice proportion. The wings on the back are just as iconic as the red face, and they nail it. On the side wheels, it's the backpack. I don't like the backpack. I don't mind there's a backpack, but I do not like such lazy arrangements. You can see such a hollow piece hanging out there. They're so far away from the central body. Just turn it around. The rear view is much better than the side view. You can see the flame pattern on the legs, which I consider a bonus in this mode. And the backpack from this angle is not that bad. Articulation is pretty standard. The head is on a ball joint. Well, of course, it's on a ball joint and also on a panel that locks its chest piece. With such an arrangement, Trax can look down and check his toes. The wings can be adjusted as well as the missiles. The arms can be rotated back and forth and of course rotate around, but it kind of hindered by the wings. And the biceps can rotate in and out, 90 degrees bend on the elbow, and it's also on a ratchet joint. The wrist can be rotated around very smoothly. 4 fingers move together while there is a slot in the palm that can help to lock the pistol. Actually, Trax can hold his weapon very well even without 4 fingers around. And talking to his waist joints, there is rotation of course, and there is also a slight bending action there, which is very nice. The crotch panel can be flipped so that we can see the universal joints on the hips. They move freely on different axes and can stay in position pretty nice. The knee joints can bend 90 degrees, side swivel, also no problem. And talking to the feet, up and down, left and right on the ball joints. So Trax, also very tall, very slim, can be set in really dynamic poses. This is Trax with his little body, Raoul. I think this is a pretty accurate scale between a human being and Transformers. Standing beside Wheeljack, Trax is definitely slimmer, but they are actually of same or similar height if you check their head or shoulder levels. Trax just appears to be taller due to his wings and backpack. MP-25 is a highly anticipated release this year. I think its car mode is the best. It's actually almost perfect, while the backpack of the robot mode is a bit let down. Nevertheless, Masterpiece Trax is overall a well done figure, which is not only a great homage to its G1 ancestor, but also the modern design with many interesting gimmicks. And thanks to the friendship and with my pure excitement and weird national pride for having a plastic toy in my hand before its official releasing date, I recommend this figure without reservation. Oh, by the way, if you work for Hasbro or TakaraTomy, what you have seen is just a big illusion. Time to wake up!